something to you, man. If you go come on my page, or if you go come on my channel, watch what we look. I don't care about internet criticism or none of that. It's always trolls that come with the foray. That's cool because you one or two things, especially when you hide your face. You the police or you somebody that never really participated and you rode the bench and you got something to say. But find somebody that said, somebody else that said too, because if you want to speak to me personally. Come see me face to face like a man. I ain't hard to find. I ain't one of them cats that go back and forth on the internet. You got a problem with anything I said? Come see me face to face. And if you from Vegas, you most definitely can come see me face to face. Some of you dudes need to appreciate the fact that I'm not putting you on blast like I can. I can really put it out there, but I'm not. I'm being respectful. Some of y'all, you know, some of y'all name is attached to disturbing things. Some of y'all fence hoppers. Some of y'all used to be other things. Some of y'all got turned out by people that came from other places. I don't go there. I tell my story and I'm gonna continue to because I want to and can't nobody stop me from doing it. Okay? With that said, from the ground up, 14. I believe last time I left off I was talking about the Perus. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this video out all the way. I don't care. I just pushed the line. But I want to talk about another gang that was also brewing during this time. And it was a gang known as the Anybody Murderers. Now they came around 88, some of 88, and it was started by 4 dudes. And that was No Shame, Charles Whaley, Boo Loco, Tarhane, John Lee, and Killer. Now, what makes the ABMs unique is that, for one, they wear blue and burgundy. Now you might ask yourself, well, why they wear that? Blue and burgundy, that don't make sense. Well, No Shame, let's get into him. No Shame, real name is Charles Whaley. They also called him Fella. See, before Fella became an ABM, Fella was a Peru. He was a Peru blood. Okay? Killer was from West Coast blood. John Lee and Boo Loco were from Northtown. Boo Loco, Tarhane Williams, name used to be Little Lowdown. He was a GQ / Donna Street ABM. John Lee, same thing. So you had 2 Crips and 2 Bloods that came together. And the reason why No Shame became a Crip, well, I'm going to let the Perus and the ABM say what they need to say about that, but I'll say this. An incident took place back in early 89, late 88. And it's like a lot of stuff happened in 88 because after L got killed, my homeboy in 86, banging really woke up. Gangs started sprouting up from everywhere after that. So in 88 and 89, it was really at its peak when it came to madness and violence. And there was an incident. Now, from what I hear, don't take me to court on this, but you got to ask the ABMs and the Perus about that. But something went bad with No Shame, Charles Whaley, when he was a blood. Something went bad with them. Because I was in Elko with him, and he used to be a straight up Peru. And he was eruptible with it. Everybody knew Fella. No Shame, Charles, whatever you want to call him. But something went bad with him and his homeboys, and they ended up either jumping on him or running them off. Okay? Now, the reason why I know this happened is because one day I was coming home from school, and I used to go to this, it's like a continuation when you get kicked out of normal school. I was going to this continuation school or whatever, and I was going home, and somebody said, "Sheep." I turn around, it's him. I'm still thinking he a blood, so, but we was always cool. At Elko, we was cool, so I didn't feel, you know, on guard or instantly getting bang mode. I was like confused, like what you doing over here? Cause he was in my neighborhood, and he like, my mama lived right there. I'm like, your mama? I didn't know your mama stayed over here. He was like, yeah, man. I was like, what's up? He was like, shit. I'm like, what's happening? Why you over here? Like, dude, don't get caught slipping. He was like, man, I ain't even no blood no more. I said, what you mean you ain't no blood no more? He said, man, them niggas tried to jump on me, man. I said, is that right? He was like, yeah. And he brought up like Boosie B name and a few more. Now, like I say, I'm not gonna get too far into that because I don't know exactly what happened. So all I could say is something went bad. So I was like, okay. So I'm thinking he neutral, you know what I mean? Or you gonna start claiming, Gershon, you over here now. You know, but he tell me, he say, you know, I've been hanging out in Northtown. I said, that right? He said, yeah, man, I've been kicking it with Tarhane. I said, is that right? He said, yeah, man, we started our own little thing. I say, what what you mean y'all started your own little thing? He said, yeah, we got a little thing down there, ABMs. I say, what is that? He say, anybody murderers. And he was shaking his head like, I say, anybody murderers. He was like, yeah. I didn't understand the concept right off the top. Like, that don't make sense. So I didn't take it serious. But little did I know, the ABMs was going to turn out to be some of the most ruthless individuals that the North ever rose. You know what I'm saying? Because after me and him spoke, shortly after that, it was an incident at the courthouse. And the same guy I just got through talking about, Charles Whaley, fella, he put the ABMs on the map. He was the first one to put in work for them. And he did that on his ex-gang, the Parus. He shot Kay at the courthouse. This was a high-profile case because it happened at the courthouse, in front of the courthouse. He went to prison for that. He shot one of the main Paru figures, I think, in the neck at the courthouse, and he went to prison for that. So that kind of like gave exposure to the ABMs. Like, who the fuck is the ABMs? Excuse me for a second. Go do your independent study. So, to make a long story short, you know, that put the ABMs on the map. Now, Killer, this light-skinned cat, he come out of West Coast. I didn't never really know him as a factor over there, but I know he come from over there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Killer's story is sad because, you know, Killer was one of the main four that started ABM, but Killer, he ended up, I'm going to get to that later because I want to give y'all everything, you know, right so you can understand what I'm saying. But Killer ended up doing something tragic and going to the penitentiary. But let's just say he was one of the four. Then you had John Lee, who was a big, tall, muscular, athletic dude, looked like he should have played football or something. You know, real big, bald-headed, had a big nose. He was a real dude, liked to fight, you know what I'm saying, was real good at it, you know. And those were the four. And then you had Tarhane, Boo Loco, Lil Lowdown, little light-skinned dude, bad, gunner, straight killer. You know, those four started what was known as the ABM, and they wore burgundy and blue because two of them was Crips and then two of them was Bloods. So they settled for burgundy and blue. My hood was the first one they got into it with, up in the Brownies, which is called Sierra Nevada Arms out here in Vegas. And this incident happened because you know, it's a lot of women that was in the Brownies at this time, Sierra Nevada Arms. So a lot of gangs congregated up there. The Brownies ended up becoming a gang, but at this time there was not a gang, you know, so you could find most anybody in the Brownies. So at this time, you know, we had homeboys over there that was selling dope. You know, wherever there was a spot that we can move in, where there was no opposition or anything, that's what we would do. We were known for doing that. The Gersons would take over your hood because we've taken over hoods. You know what I mean? And we've taken over 3 or 4 hoods. Ask anybody out here. That's why when they tore down Herbert Gershon, you know, we still had places to go. But then they tore down both the Carry Arms. Then they tore down the Brownies. All those were our hoods that we occupied. but they was trying to root us out. But anyway, uh, they was in the brownies one day, and one of my homeboys approached these cats because we've been hearing about this ABM thing, especially after they shot K Lake. And so one of my homeboys approached Mark C, which is ABM, and asked him, hey, what's a AB? He was trying to say it, he didn't know how to say it right. What's a ABM, ACM, or whatever? And he was like, ABM, anybody murderer. He said, well, what does that mean? He was like, exactly what it means, anybody murderer. He said, so that means y'all kill anybody, huh? He said, anybody murderer. He was like, oh, okay, all right, all right. So he was like, he had his chest poked out like, yeah, nigga, anybody murderer. So my homeboy walked off. He went over there, Donald Ray Page was like, what's happening? He was like, he talking about that anybody murderer. I'm finna show his ass an anybody murderer. So Donald Ray Page went in the house and with Maine, and they went and got them things, and they came out, and they gave the ABMs the business. Now you ask any ABM, because I'm gonna tell you something, who was with him. He's the biggest buster in Vegas, Danny Pollard. Danny Pollard, and I'm gonna say your name because you're the biggest buster in Vegas. You've been from Valley View, that's where you started off at, Valley View. You was claiming rolling 20s when Valley Views was rolling 20s. A lot of people don't even know Valley View used to be rolling 20s. But you was claiming, and they was Crip rolling 20s. So you was claiming that. Then you started claiming NTG. Remember that? You was claiming NTG with Kareem and Elko. Kareem had you claiming NTG. You claimed Donna for about 3 months. You claimed HTH with Freight Train them up over there. Then you became an ABM. Well, you became an ABM, then you went to HTH because HTH came out after ABM. You became an ABM, you became an HTH, and then last but not least, you became a West Coast Blood. You's a dude. That's why I don't speak on y'all, because of people like you. But you was out there that day when y'all got into it with my homeboys. You was running around with some of the first ABMs, and our hood was the first ones that they got into it with when they sprouted. You know what I mean? Now, let me take you on another story. This happened to do with me. See, I'm telling you about how gangs arose, and then I'm gonna tell you about things that happened to me as I was in a gang, and then I'm gonna go back and forth because I have institutional stories I have to get into. So just bear with me. But I remember one day, me, my homeboy Rocket, and my homeboy Tall Man, we decided that we wanted to go get us some shirts from Head West. Head West is located on Owens and Martin Luther King. It was a place that sold shirts, things you can iron on your shirts, roach clips, fake jewelry, glasses that we used to wear, golf club hats. You know what I mean? Everybody that was in the gang went and got their gang attire from Head West. So if you wanted to iron like old English letters on your shirts, you went to Head West. If you wanted to iron, the dude with the brim and the lokes on with the goatee, you go to Head West. You know what I mean? So we went up there that day, and they also sold, cassette tapes. And I went up there, I went up there to get the new EPMD. So What You Saying album. Remember when they came out? So What You Saying? So What You Saying? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. They came out. So I went up there to get that, knowing we went blood turf. That's Paru turf. You know what I mean? So I ain't tripping. I got a pistol. I got a 32 on me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping. So me, Rockin' and Tall Man, we fall up there. So we get up there to the thing. I tell them, man, be on your P's and Q's, you know what I'm saying? Because them Parus, they can hit the corner anytime. Anybody can come up in there, man. You go to Head West, you best be strapped. Because that's blood turf, man. So we went up in there, being, stupid, thinking we can get in there, get out. We go in there, I'm looking at the cassette tapes. I don't know what they doing, because I got to get this EPMD cassette, right? So I'm looking in the EPMD thing. And when somebody come in there, it's like a bell go off, like bling, 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 when you come up in there in Head West, right? So when somebody come up in there, you can like hear it, So I'm over there at the cassette tapes, and I'm looking, and I hear the bling, you know what I mean? So I ain't tripping. Then I hear it again, bling. Like, what the fuck? So one of my homeboys, Rocket, he come over there, he said, hey, she, look. I turn around, it's Spanky P from Paru, Larry Brown, and some other big tall dude. I think it was Dirty D. I don't know, but he was tall. These OGs, we BGs. These dudes fight my big homeboys. These is they big these is they higher ups. I'm a baby gangster. I'm about 14 years old. Spanky P down at 18. I was in Elko with him. You know, I was in Elko with Spanky P twice. And me and Spank, Sean Jernigan, we had a good rapport. We wasn't really at each other like that because I was young and he didn't look at me as a threat, so he never really pushed the line on me like that. So I thought, you know, me being in a territory and I'm most definitely slipping. I got a pistol, but I'm thinking I can talk to this cat. You know, I can be like, you know, Spank, what up? You know what I mean? And it ain't gonna be no friction. Cause these dudes is older than us. So we definitely gonna get smashed if I don't get to popping. And I don't wanna pop up in this store. I'm gonna be on camera and you know, it's witnesses. But to make a long story short, I walk up to Spank. I put my hand out. I'm like, hey, Spank, what up, big homie? And I put my hand out to shake his. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't know which one of them dudes hit me, but they hit me so hard they knocked me halfway out of one of my shoes. Right? And it was so lit. When they hit me, it's like they detached me from my shadow. I was out of there. And the next, and I was like, when they got these like these see-through glass cake, you know, things you can look through to see the fake jewelry and stuff like that. I hit that so hard, I damn near broke it. So when they hit me, they get on my other homies. One of them had the tall dude I said came in there. I said I don't know who that was. Like I think that was 30D. He had my homie tall man in the air over his head and threw him behind the cash register where the woman was. And Rocky, Po Rocky, man, they was passing him around like a blunt up in there. I'm still rocked. So I reach for my thing and I'm bagging up toward the door. I'm punch drunk with one hit though. I don't know which one of them hit me, man, but they hit me with everything they stood for. But I was bagging up and I was tripping. And when I was bagging up, Rocket got loose and he ran, man. Listen, I ain't never in my life seen a dude. He ran me over, literally ran me over. He ran me over. When I mean ran me over, he stepped on me. He ran me over, stepped all on my neck and everything running out the door. They beat the brakes off his ass up in there. So when I jump up tall, man, he was drunk and the lady was screaming, talking about, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. And man, look, I pulled that thing out. And when I pulled that thing out, I was so mad because Spank, you know, I'm thinking that we was halfway cool that he hit me. And I'm thinking, I'm a little kid. You hit me way too motherfucking hard. So when I pulled that thing out in the store, Spank died behind the counter. I tell Tall Man to come on, nigga. And when Tall Man jumped behind the counter, he got roach clip stuff all in his hair, and they did him bad. So he run over there toward me. I just get to lighting the stove up. Black, 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 black. I blew on the cash register lady. I blew on the Parus, and I was running back out the stove, but I was still punch drunk. Right? So I'm in a parking lot shooting a dough shed. I'm just shooting at the stove. I done fell down twice, got up, ran. We get back to the neighborhood. My elbows pink, knees hurt, feelings hurt. I done just shot this stove up. Now I'm on a run because I know that lady go tell. I don't know if I killed somebody. You know what I mean? It was stressful. You know, and that's how it is when you gang banging. You never know when you go be caught slipping. And you know, it don't matter how young you is, when you play this game and you become a familiar face, then that's what you get. You know, and that's what I got. You know, I got smashed, but I shot it up. But that's how we do it. You know what I mean? That's banging. People don't know that about Vegas. Now let me explain something to you. I'm bringing y'all this here because Vegas history has been so tarnished. You can actually look on the internet and see a white guy with a camera on his helmet or something riding up Martin Luther King trying to chronicleize the history of Vegas with a bike ride up Martin Luther King. Like, the Gershon was right there. Yeah, there were known old gang back in the days, and you can't chronicleize our history, dude. And Vegas is transforming. All the original Vegas boys, like myself and others, they're dead, they're gone, they're out of the way. We're scarce. We done killed each other off. So if people like me don't put our history out there and tell our story, it's not gonna be one to be told. And for you weirdos that get up on here and want to criticize me for telling my life story, won't you get you a life? It's not my fault you don't have nothing to talk about, or you didn't have nothing interesting to speak on. I lived this just like them boys in Chicago and just like them boys in California. I got over 200 some dead homeboys, man. I did 20 years for murder. My daddy started all this. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be no banging in Vegas. So if I bring you something, you better believe it's coming from the core. Can't nobody step to me or clear my history, and I'll put my history up to anybody. Everybody in Vegas know my name, and it's respected, even if it's not like. Yeah, I was hated by a lot of people, and you go see why. You join me on this journey, and I'm just saying to you, trolls, whether you the police or whoever you is, it don't matter. I don't care, scare. You got a problem with something I say, I'm not hard to find. Pull up. That's all you got to do. I'm not hard to find. This is my life story. I lived this. I suffered the consequences for this. I went through all the nightmares and had to see psychiatrists and was pumped up full of medication behind this. I smoked PCP when I was 12. I was locked up all these years, not you. So if I want to speak on my trials and tribulations that I went through that got me here and made me the man that I am today, then that's what I'm going to do. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. You can mind your own. But I ain't going to go back and forth for something that don't matter. You feel me? I'm a Vegas reputable. Always been one, and I'm going to stay one. Okay? From the ground up, 14, on this way. I'm going to keep chronicalizing how the gangs came and what happened to me. They're going to try to stop me. They're going to mess with my phone. They're going to do all this weird stuff. But it's not going to deter me. It encourages me. For real. I just told you about the rise of the itty-bitty murderers. Next time I come, I'm going to just keep bringing them to you. And keep bringing them to you. And we will go from there. Until then, from the ground up.